All right, T-Dub was out and about this week, getting ready for the big game tomorrow night.
Quarterback Zach Merrill has led the 59ers to a remarkable improvement since week 1, including a poetic 59-point shutout last week. The unstoppable offense of the 59ers faces the immovable defense of the unbeaten Hobart Brickies come Friday. You take some momentum into this game, which is saying something considering you had the tough start against Merrillville, but let's talk about that momentum and how that's going to help you come Friday.
Well, every week is different. So I guess when you talk about momentum, I guess really for me, I just think about improving each week on what you're doing. But yeah, ever since then we've talked about cleaning some things up and being more effective in what we're doing, more efficient offensively. Defense has been pretty steady throughout, so it's kind of really offensively just finding our rhythm and what we want to do and kind of what plays and things are better suited for certain guys. So I guess when you say momentum, I guess that's what we got to keep doing is, as we progressed here since week 1, I think we have a better idea of the strengths and the weaknesses of some of our guys offensively.
Since that first game of the year, and it's the last time I'll bring it up, I promise, you guys have picked up 2 shutouts and a big scoring game last week. How happy are you with your football team right now?
Good. Obviously anytime you can get a shutout, defensively that's the goal. But I think just in totality our games has been good for us because offensively we've moved the ball, but at times we've also hit some big plays. So we kind of had a combination of explosive plays mixed in with some steady drives, which is always nice. Yeah, on both sides of the ball and special teams it's been good for us the last 3 weeks. So hopefully we can keep that going.
I won't mention Merrillville, but I will mention Merrill, as in Zach. Your quarterback has really been on fire of late.
He's a good player. He's developed a lot in this offseason, and he's really a student of the game, which is nice. Cerebral quarterback. Obviously, he's very talented as well. The last 3 weeks he's performed how we would expect. We have high expectations for him, and I know he has the same for himself, and he's executed.
You have a tough matchup against Hobart coming up. What's your biggest concern about the Brickies?
They're a good team, obviously. It's impressive looking at them with their mix of younger guys and older guys. Defensively, they've been solid all year. They've gone up against some good opponents, and they've limited Chesterton, LaPorte, Culver, low-scoring games. So offensively, we need to be effective and efficient and, again, kind of preaching the things that we have the last few weeks. And then on offense, they're physical. So defensively, we're going to have to bring that toughness. Try not to let them dictate, what they're doing. There's really no weaknesses in what they have. So I think it's going to be a good game. Two teams that are obviously we're starting out conference here, so big game for both programs. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere.
Led by a punishing running game, the Hobart Brickies remain unbeaten at 4-0. As Hobart approaches homecoming, they do so with a question. Can the Bricks make it a perfect homecoming with a win over Red Hot Andrean? And of course, old school football fans know that Andrean and Hobart is a pretty darn good rivalry. You continue it again on Friday. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean that's been a rivalry. It's kind of, I guess, sparked maybe my senior year we started playing them again. Andrean is really close to us, and it is a big rivalry. Our kids really get up for this game, and I know their kids get up for this game. So it's going to be a fun atmosphere. They're a good team. They've only got 1 loss. We got no losses, so it should be, hopefully it's an electric atmosphere here on Friday night.
Well, it's going to be homecoming, so there's going to be a certain amount of electricity there, but you also are going up against a red-hot quarterback. How do you stop this guy?
With Zach, we know he's a very talented quarterback. We know that he can do a lot of good things, and that's the thing that we're concentrating on this week is we know we got to stop their passing game. So that's something that our defensive coordinator, our defensive staff is well aware of.
Outside of Zach, what concerns you about the 59ers?
Well, I think their size and their speed. You look at defensively, they got Cam Williams. He's a big-time recruit. He's all over the place on the field. They're going to be bigger than us, just like every team we played so far this year. So that concerns you a little bit. But other than that, I think that we've proved that we could play against bigger teams and we could be just as physical as those teams, and we were okay versus those teams.
Coach, you have a kid on the squad, Sal Valley, having a great season for you with the defense. How important is he to this football team?
Well, Sal was our team MVP last year as a junior. He's having a fantastic year on the defensive side of the ball. We finally got him going offensively against East Chicago. He had a pretty good game against Culver Military too. But we knew going into this year offensively with bringing in a new offense coordinator with Dave Coyle that it was going to be some learning curves with our offense. And then, our goal is to grow every week as an offense. And I think that we've done that from week 1 to week where we're at right now. We've grown every week.
As you go throughout the neighborhood, are people starting to get more fired up about Hobart football with the 4-0 start?
I think so. I think it reflects on in our stands on Friday nights. I think especially with the younger kids, and my wife's a teacher down at the elementary school, they're all fired up for Friday nights, and I think within the community you're starting to feel that a little bit.
This is just like old times. The Brickies are winning football games. Andrean's doing pretty well for themselves with a red-hot quarterback, but the question is, can that quarterback get it done against the Hobart Bricky defense that has played extremely well this season? Therefore, Joe and Wayne, who you got?
That was, one thing that I neglected to talk about was Hobart's defense has gotten takeaways
Yes.
in the first 4 weeks of the season. And they've got them at opportune times.
Right.
And that will be something I'm sure that they've focused on this week, because if they can get a pick or a fumble, that will switch the field position. And when you throw the ball as much as Andrean does, some of those balls could get deflected and picked off. That'll be big if they can get some takeaways this week.
Right, turnovers are big, and I think that Hobart has a pretty good kicker too. So if the
Yes.
game is close,
Yes.
that may favor Hobart a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right, let's go to the board, Wayne, and dissect a little more. As we talked about, and as Tommy and Coach talked about, Val's been great on defense. They got him going. They need to keep him going on offense, and Andrean needs to put some pressure defensively on the Hobart offense.
Yeah, and Coach talked about, Coach Skinner talked about the fact that they were pretty big defensively. Andrean is. Hobart may be a little quicker on that.
Well, I think that's a great point that he made. They have played bigger schools
Right.
all season long.
Chesterton, LaPorte, so those are bigger schools definitely than Hobart is
Yeah.
used to playing.
For the Bricks, got to pressure Merrill, trying to make some mistakes, as we just said, get some takeaways.
Hobart must play with composure.
And they've done that, I think, so
Yes,
far this year.
yes, but this is a huge game for them.
I know going back to talking to Coach Hoffman, that he always hated homecoming week.
Yes, yes,
It was hard to keep focused on the game
yes.
instead of the dance. So I don't think that the coaches at Hobart will probably have that problem, but
No.
it's a little distraction
Yes,
sometimes.
it is. No doubt about it. These are kids.
Yes. All right. So who do you like, Wayne?
I think this is going to be an overtime game. I'm picking 28-27 Hobart only because they're so balanced, okay? I think Hobart at home with the homecoming and things is going to be a factor.
Okay. All right, Wayne likes the Brickies, 28-27. Hobart has had a brutal schedule. I think that's helped, but it could also hurt, having to get up for the fourth time in 5 weeks. That's difficult for a team trying to get to that peak emotional level.
Yes, but this is probably the biggest game on their schedule so far. They've done well against the LaPorte and Chesterton, but the natural rivalry of Andrean and Hobart.
And I just don't know how you can simulate that passing game
No,
to get
that's true.
prepared for it.
That's very
They'll
true.
be quicker in the pass game when the game starts. But no doubt, if Hobart can get some takeaways, that's going to change
Right.
everything.